have been exclusively breastfeeding my daughter for 8 months now. I'm a first-time mum, and I know it can be really overwhelming when you are either pregnant or you're a first-time mum and you're looking at what you need for breastfeeding or what you need. There's just so many videos out there that can be just very intense and overwhelming, and there's a lot of short form videos out there that just flash a load of products in your face. This is what you need, my top 5 products, and no one really tells you why or like the practicality behind it. So I wanted to do a sit down video where I talk through this with you, give you my advice and give you my tips of what I think you should buy and how I think you should use it, and what I have used for myself that has made my life a lot easier. So as I mentioned, I've been exclusively feeding Sophia for 8 months. However, at the very beginning, I did give a couple of bottles, so I will mention this in the video. That's why I've included it in here. I've also written notes showing my age because I forget everything since becoming a mum. The first thing I'd recommend is getting silverettes. I don't have them here with me because I've lost them, but I'll put them on the screen. Silverettes is something I overlooked. Now, just a bit of information. When I was feeding at the beginning, like the first couple of weeks, I was in so much pain because I hadn't correctly figured out how to latch my baby. And this is probably the first thing I should say is, if you're pregnant or you're preparing to give birth, you're preparing to be a first-time mum, go online and watch videos on latching and watch videos on breastfeeding in general from someone qualified. I'm not qualified to give you that information. I'm just giving you information from one mum to another, but go and watch those videos. I was so focused on my birth, preparing for my birth and having the birth that I wanted, rather than the actual postpartum and breastfeeding practicalities. So that's the first thing I'd say, is go and do that, because you do not want to wait until your baby's in the world, your hormones are everywhere, your baby's crying, and now you're like, how do I latch? And I was looking at videos at that point, which is just not recommended. So that's the first thing I'd say. Then I was in pain. Some people have no problems whatsoever with breastfeeding. It's just such a smooth journey. Other people have more of, up and down. And one of my biggest problems is I was having so much pain. I was in agony with it. So I bought silverettes. I should have had them from the beginning. I wish I had them in the first 2 weeks. It would have made my life easier. I was crying while feeding Sophia, thinking, how do I do this? How can I continue? It was agony for me. And I understand why women just throw the towel in. They're just like, I'm done with this. I'm out. I was very determined to keep going, and I'm so glad I did, but the silverettes were definitely something that helps. So they're little silver things that go onto your breast in between feeds. Anytime your baby's not on your boob, the silverettes will be there. They help soothe your nipple, and I did not have any pain from the moment I started using those. They are amazing, and I would highly, highly recommend. They're a little bit pricey, but I would really recommend them because I wish I had them in the first 2 weeks. Second thing I'll talk about is nipple cream. So I had this one, which is the lanolin. It's quite a famous one. And I live in Thailand, so I also had this brand that I found. This is the Mama's Choice. It's made of date and coconut oil. You want to find something as natural as possible in my eyes, and you want to find something that you don't have to remove before latching your baby, because trust me, the less things you have to do as a new mum, the better. So you want to remove those things out, less things to think about. Pop it on. So you remove your baby from the breast, you pop this on, you pop the silverettes on top, you're done. You're done. It's amazing. So nipple cream. These also, I've used these as diaper creams as well. I've had absolutely no issues with Sophia and diaper creams and all that kind of stuff. Her bum in general, what a thing to be talking about. And I put these because I think if it's good enough for her to put in her mouth, basically, it's good enough for her bum, and these have doubled up as diaper creams as well. Pumps. Now, I've used 2 types of pumps for different reasons. This one is useful. It's probably my favorite one. However, it's not completely hands-free, because even if I put it inside a bra like this, it is heavy and it doesn't sit up properly. If I'm at my desk, I can kind of work with it, but if I'm walking around, no. So you want to try and get one that can be hands-free and can sit inside like your bra, your sports bras. The only thing with these ones is putting them together when I was like tired and confused and hormonal, was testing my patience like no other. So this actually became my favorite, but you'll figure out what's best for you. Obviously, just read the reviews. I'm not going to recommend either of these particular ones because I'm not 100% happy with them, but I would say get a hands-free one so it gives you more time to do other things rather than just sitting there pumping. Then we want to talk about storage bags. You can get any kind of storage bag, honestly. There's many out there, but I got this one. You want to get one that you can write things on. And one thing I'd recommend is your body produces different kinds of milk depending on, I don't know the technical words for it, but different kinds of milk depending on the time of day. So in the morning, your milk is going to be different to what it would be at 9 p.m. in the evening or 6 p.m. in the evening when your baby's ready to go to sleep. It produces milk for sleeping, basically. I don't know whether there's got like melatonin in there or a different, but it definitely helps aid with sleep in comparison to morning milk. So I'd always write the time that I have pumped on this. And then if I did give a bottle, I give a couple of bottles in the very beginning when she was newborn, when we had family coming to help, I would write the time of day and give the closest time of day to the baby at the time that they need a bottle, if that makes sense. So yeah, storage bags, just get a 10 of those. You don't want to be running out of those. And I've even got a 10 now. And you want to pop these somewhere. I actually had them next to the coffee. So literally it's just there ready to go. And yeah, another thing with these, when you're storing them, instead of storing, so the milk will be at the bottom, right? So it will create like a bulge at the bottom. This will be loose. This is going to take up a lot of milk. It's going to take up a lot of room in the freezer, right? Because it gets bulky here. So what you want to do is fill it up, squeeze all the air out, do it up, lay it flat. Lay it flat in the freezer. This is going to create the perfect stackable storage of milk. It's just like so satisfying. You know what I mean when it comes to it. It's so satisfying. And then you can just easily slot them in the freezer and you're not wasting any space, if that makes sense. You'll know what I'm talking about when it comes to it. Water bottle. Is this related to breastfeeding? Yes, it is, because you need to be drinking so much liquid and water when you're breastfeeding to help with your supply, to help you in general. That goes without saying, but you don't want to have glasses of water around because your baby will be around, you'll be around. You just want something easy. Pick it up, open it with a straw. This is not sponsored anyway. Open it with a straw. And you've just got, I know it sounds really simple, guys, but honestly, when you're a new mum, these things just go over your head and you just want to make your life as easy as possible. So you just want to have someone to just constantly fill this up. And I had a promise to myself that every single time I breastfed Sophia, I was drinking water, because you forget in those early stages because you're all over the place. So there's that. Now, I mentioned I give a bottle, as I said. I didn't continue with bottle feeding. I was just confused and I doubted myself so much in the beginning. I doubted my supply. I doubted if I was giving her enough milk and all that kind of stuff. Really normal in a breastfeeding journey. But I did give a couple of bottles, and if you plan to give a couple of bottles, I would recommend slow release bottles for giving this to the baby. What I mean by that is, when your baby's breastfed, you don't want them then to prefer the bottle over you. It's very unlikely, but sometimes people give milk. Why am I doing this? I don't know. You know what happens when you give baby milk. When you're giving the milk, if this is too quick of a release, one, it can cause like big tummy issues, but two, it can make your baby lazy because they realize, I don't need to do much work with my jaw to get the milk out. So therefore, they might start to prefer the bottle over you, and they become lazy because they have to work to get the milk out of your breast. So this bottle is like a slow release, so they have to do a little bit more work on this teat to get the milk out. So that's why I'd recommend a slow release bottle. These mom bottles are highly recommended, and after trying quite a number of bottles, this one was the best. This is also like a anti-colic bottle, so it has holes at the bottom here that helps release the air, so when your baby's feeding, they're not going to be struggling so much with gas. We had a very gassy baby at the beginning and it was quite a nightmare, but these bottles, I'd say, definitely were an improvement. So yeah, there's also sterilizers in the microwave. So what you can do You open it like this, you put the teat, let me show you. You put the teat inside, like that. You put some water in there. This goes on top, this goes on top. In the microwave, self-sterilizes. So that's really like massive. At the beginning, that was helpful. Then, breastfeeding pillow. Definitely get 100%. Everything I'm telling you, I'd recommend, but this is something like really get it, because it will become so useful. Not only for nursing your baby, but also your baby can do tummy time, like this, on this. Your baby can also, when they're a bit bigger, they can sit in here, rest like this at the back, and they can sit inside. Sophia learned to basically sit up doing that, and then they will lay back in it, and it's just, you will use it for your back, like you'll just use it for everything. This is going to become your best friend. However, one thing I'd recommend is, I noticed when I was feeding Sophia, obviously I wouldn't have it this high, I'm just showing you for the video, this is kind of dipped, this is curved. I probably recommend a more flat version, because when she was small, she was kind of like falling in between the pillow and me, and I was kind of worried because I couldn't really relax then. So I'd say get a flatter version. This is a cheapy one though, and honestly, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. So there's that. The Haakaa. This is very famous, as I'm sure you've heard many times. The Haakaa is, I've used it a lot at the very beginning. When you are a new mum, your milk is not regulated. So what that means is your body is trying to understand from your baby how much milk to produce. This is another tip as well. I should probably do like a tips on breastfeeding rather than the actual products. I should probably do a separate video. Let me know if you find that you think that would be helpful. But what I use this for is you'll leak. You will be feeding on this side will be leaking. It's just all over the place at the beginning. The first 3 months is your body trying to understand and learn from your baby of how much milk to produce. Therefore, when your baby is on this boob is leaking. So you don't want to waste that milk. You want to catch it. So this, depending on how much you squeeze it, is how much it will suction. So I didn't use this to suck out milk. I just used it to kind of catch the milk dropping down. So then you can store this, and it's so surprising how much you can catch and fill up the storage bags with this milk. It is incredible. So this is also great because it can stick to the bedside table, and you can put the cap on and off you go. It's great. Okay, let's talk nursing bras, feeding in public. So nursing bras, I bought so many bras, okay? I bought ones that you open up with little buttons, and they were like highly recommended. And now I realize, for me personally, obviously this is all personal, somebody else might completely disagree with me, and that's okay. But at the beginning, I had those, and I was just like, it's just another thing to do. It's just another thing to do and fuss over. So especially when you're out in public and you've got a crying baby, you've got a new mum who is like still flustered, trying to figure this out, feels like people are looking at her, all that kind of stuff. You want to make it as easy as possible. So if you can go, well, at the beginning you won't be going without a bra because you'll be leaking. But if you can wear something a bit more comfortable, like this is 100% cotton. This was amazing through pregnancy and beyond, since I've become a mum as well. This is like 100% cotton, really soft, easy to open, easy to pull to the side. I'd recommend this. Then if you go out in public, you can find the little pads to go inside to stop the milk like leaking through your t-shirts, even though it's going to happen at some point. Yeah, I'd recommend these. You can find these online at a really reasonable price. And the fancy smancy button ones, I never used. I bought them all, never used them. So yeah, if you're choosing a pump that needs to be kind of held, then obviously you can buy these ones. I got this online, and yeah, it goes through there. Not the nicest to look at, but who cares? It works. Clothes and covers. Okay, so it depends which country you're in. I could easily probably get my boob out here and no one would care because I'm on an island in Thailand and it's very much accepted. However, I am quite traditional. I don't want to have my boobs out in public, and men are creepy. And women are actually worse than men in terms of doing this. They get very like funny. So yeah, I wouldn't get it out in public, so I prefer to cover up a little bit. Again, if you want to do it in public, go for it. It's just me personally, I just prefer not to. So what I'd say is your swaddles that you buy for your baby can also become covers. Do you need fancy nursing covers? No. You want to make it, as easy as possible. So what I would do is, okay, let's pretend this is my baby, right? You're in public, you open your top up, you pull your dress down, you pull it to the side, whatever it is. Then your boob is free underneath here, right? You get your baby, you latch them on, and you're done. You're done. So that's how I would feed most of the time. As your baby grows older, they'll kind of almost cover you completely anyway. It's just a latching process. Once they're latched and they kind of stay on, it's great. Now my baby's like 8 months and she's like distracted. She's looking at things, she's pulling off and she's talking to me, she's grabbing my nipples. Like, it's a whole different ball game when they grow. But by that time, you're just gonna have it nailed. You won't be worried whatsoever. Then another thing I'd recommend is when I travel, like I tend to use this a bit more. So this is just like, again, got this online. It's just like a t-shirt with no arms, like a shawl, I don't know how you call it, like this. Then you just have the freedom to move it around. Really easy for aeroplanes. This is what I like to use because I also like to be a little bit snug and covered, and it's kind of like a blanket too, and your baby can just sleep under that. I don't use it here because it's just too hot for her to be under here. And clothes, you don't want to be lifting your boobs out. You basically want to be able to do it with one hand. So if you need to do it with two hands, don't wear it, at least for the first couple of months. How I would recommend dressing is something that you can just soft, easy, no buttons, no zips, no nothing, literally nothing. Just be able to pull it to the side. Off the shoulder dresses work really well, like cotton dresses that you can just pull off. If you're in a colder country, so imagine this is a vest. Okay, we're going to use this as an example. Imagine I'm wearing a vest, like a short sleeves vest, like a body vest. Wear that. Don't even wear a bra underneath once your milk is regulated. Get this. This is a t-shirt. This is a t-shirt, okay? Vest underneath, t-shirt. What you can do, you can pull your vest underneath down, pull this up so you create like this much of space, latch your baby. Nothing's on show. It's so easy. It's actually probably easier. Do I want to say that? Sometimes I think it's easier in cold countries than it is in hot countries if you don't want to have your whole breasts on show. So yes, there's that. I think I've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to say. Pumping. Yeah, if you're not going to wear this kind of bra, I'd recommend just getting like big sized cotton or like some organic sort of material sports bras without the inserts. It's just the most comfortable. Just think comfort is key. I'm sure you already know this anyway. Comfort is key, and yeah, nothing super duper tight that you just think, oh, I don't want to get into that after I'm postpartum. And it's just, yeah, I don't know if this makes sense. I hope that this is helpful in some way. I hope that you might take something away from this. I just wanted to give a bit more practical help rather than just flash so many products in your face that you're just like, whoa. Looking around now thinking, have I missed something? I probably have, but I'll put everything down below so you can have a little look. If you want me to make another video on breastfeeding, mum, life, practical tips, then let me know and I will happily do it. And yeah, I will see you. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I hate to be that person, like follow me on Instagram, but I do actually share more like day in the life things, an updated version of my life there. So if you do fancy it, I'll put it here as well, and I will see you in the next video.